So I just got through watching tonight's episode of Black Ink Crew, and this is not really a review, um, but I do still watch the shows on a regular, and tonight's episode really, really, really touched me because it touched on something that I've been dealing with for a long time, and it honestly didn't start coming out until I had my first child. And I've spoke about it before. I spoke about depression before. I've spoke about having depression, postpartum depression, having anxiety, and I'm never going to stop talking about it because I know there's a lot of us that are dealing with it and don't know how to speak up about it or whatever. So, let me just turn the phone this way, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I hope I could do this video without crying because this episode really, really, really touched me. And because I started crying when I was watching the scene because I can relate. I can relate to exactly how Phor feels. He doesn't feel valued. He doesn't feel loved. He doesn't feel like he feels purposeless. And I didn't even know that his cover art for his song Help was him with a noose around his neck. And that's definitely a cry for help because people of color know what the noose symbolizes. Like we know. And and anybody could tell that that was a cry for help. So I mean, I get it. And the fact that him and Dawn lost their sister to suicide and they've been dealing with depression since they were children. Don't cry. It just touched me. It really did. And I can relate. I can relate. Because as a child, I think I had depression, but I numbed my feelings. Because I grew up witnessing a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have seen in situations I shouldn't have been in. And I think like the root of my depression and anxiety comes from just having to protect my mom from, you know, domestic violence and my siblings, and it's a lot on a child. And I've never dealt with those feelings, and I feel like it's coming out now as an adult and it's affecting me more. So because it's coming out, I do everything I possibly can to help my mental health. I journal, I write, I talk about it, I go to therapy weekly, but I have been there. I have had suicidal thoughts. I talked about that too. I have attempted to commit suicide like 3 times. And when Forrest said, his goal, because they're in Vegas on this episode, and he said that his goal at the house that day was to drown himself in the pool. I've been there. I've been there. I've been there. And I really wanted to do this video without crying. But you know what? Screw it. This is not this is not an act. This is not fake. This is real. real raw me. And I get it. I remember last year when I wanted to commit suicide. I wanted to jump in front of the train and just end it. Mind you, this was after I dropped my son off at school. And I take the train every day with my son to take him to school. And when I dropped him off that day, my thought was just, you know, go to Atlantic Avenue. You know, just go home and just, not even, just make it look like you going home and just jump in front of the train when it comes. As quick as I got that thought, another thought popped in my head like, no, don't do it, no. So, what I did was, I got on the train. I have games on my phone. I just sat on the train and I played games. I don't even remember like the ride home. I don't remember anything but that I was in my phone and it kept me distracted, you know, and I made it home. It was a blur, but I made it home. And it was then that I decided, you know what, you need help. You need help. You need to talk to somebody. You need help. And I'm never, ever, 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 ever afraid to admit that I'm never afraid to admit that I deal with depression. I deal with anxiety. I mean, I've pretty much gotten a handle on my depression. Anxiety is kicking my ass, but I'm dealing with it. And because a lot happened last year, I think I have like a mild form, I don't know, of PTSD. So it's a lot. It's a lot. But I deal with it every single day. I deal with it. I have therapy weekly. Like I said, I journal. I do stuff to keep myself busy. Like, you know, I go out, I socialize. I hang out with my friends. I talk to people. I do whatever I can to take my mind off of it and to deal with it. Because a lot of people don't know how to deal with it because they don't know what it is. And I'll never forget that somebody said, I saw this on a meme, and they were saying that black children drown in depression and can't even speak to their parents about it. And that's deep because unfortunately in the black community, we tend to sweep a lot of stuff under the rug. And it's not cool. We have to stop. That's why so many of us are walking around with demons that we don't know how to fight because they get swept under the rug. And I'm going to be the mother to break that cycle with my children. My children talk to me about everything, and they are 6 and 4. My son, even though he irritates me sometimes and he rambles, I listen to everything he tells me. I make sure that he expresses himself. I make sure that he tells me how he's feeling. My daughter, she'll tell me, you know, I'm mad, I'm sad, I'm angry. You know, I make sure they tell me that. Because just that little piece of information it means a lot to have a listening ear to children, because people feel like children should be seen and not heard, and that's not fair, because children have a lot to say. They are the ones who, they have the most to express. And I think us as adults, we need to do better in listening to them, because they have feelings too. And a lot of children are, like I said earlier, drowning in depression and feel like they can't talk to anybody about it. And me, whenever I hear somebody saying that they're depressed, whenever I hear that somebody is saying that, they're having suicidal thoughts, I always reach out. I always check on people to make sure they're okay. I try my best to. I probably could be a little bit more better at it, but I try my best to. But when I do see it, I'm like, no, no, no. And I know plenty of people who are going through depression that I would never, ever, ever expect to be going through depression. Like people that I look up to. I'm like, really? So it's not just me? So it helps when you got people who can relate to you. And it also helps when you can get it off your chest and not be judged. So I'm here as an advocate for anybody who's gone through it, dealing with it, don't know how to deal with it. Listen, my social media, all of that, it's open. Even if you want to just ramble, talk, at me, message me, whatever. I don't mind talking. I don't mind listening. None of that. Because we all need, all it takes is that one person to just talk. That's all people need, is an ear. If a lot of people had an ear, a lot of people would still be on this earth. Robin Williams, the happiest, the supposed happiest man on earth, that man took his life because he was depressed. Phyllis Hyman, depressed. Well, Dorothy Dandridge didn't take her life, but she was depressed. Like, all of these people who live to entertain others, but when that spotlight is off and they're alone in their thoughts, then it's like, what? So I'm gonna always speak up for people who deal with depression, anxiety, all of that. Mental health, period. Like, black people, we gotta take care of our mental health. We have to take care of our mental health. Break the generational curse. Stop sweeping stuff up under the rug. Talk about it, please. We have to do better, especially for our children. We have to do better. And I think that's it for me, because this was just heavy on my heart, and I really felt like I needed to, jump on here and say something, because this touched me. It really did. And we crack jokes and whatnot, about reality TV, because it is for our entertainment, but episodes like this need to be showcased more on these shows. And I'm glad that I'm starting to see them on these shows, like, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Black Ink Crew Chicago. It looks like they're gonna showcase some more situations on Love and Hip Hop Miami, Love and Hip Hop New York. It's so, like, I'm liking that we're actually seeing these people, I don't want to say real, because we know that reality TV can be scripted, but we seeing authentic versions of these people, like they're human just like us. So I'm just glad that stuff like this is being showcased on TV, so that people like me can, see it and think, wow, I'm not alone. So it's a lot, but I'm not gonna drag this any further. I just had to get that off my chest, and I felt great about it. But depression is one of the main reasons why I feel like I can't get my channel in order. That's why I haven't been on YouTube like that, because I don't like getting on camera and I don't like half-assing it. I feel like if I get on camera, I need to be 100% myself. And I don't want to get on here half-assing it. I want to get on here and be in a good mood and be excited to talk. And I haven't been feeling it for some time now. That's why my videos are all over the place. So this is why I've taken so many hiatuses. This is why, like, the videos are inconsistent. If you didn't know, now you know. This is a battle that I'm fighting, and I'm gonna kick its ass 100%. So this took a lot, but I feel a lot better. And shout out to VH1, Ryan Henry, the whole cast of Black Ink Crew Chicago for even showcasing this. And you know, my heart goes out to Phor, Don, his family. My heart goes out to all of them. You know, you are not alone. You are not alone. I'm a regular girl from Brooklyn, New York, and I deal with depression as well. I'm not afraid to admit it. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully I'll see you guys soon when I get my life together. But thank you for watching. Peace.